Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another Dark Park Film Reviews. And this is another video that celebrates a filmmaker's career. I've done two of these before. One was Roger Corman, which was divided up into two videos, and also one on Tony Scott. So this is The Art of Michael Cimino. And I want to do these. They're videos that don't show trailers and posters and all that type of stuff because I get tired of YouTube and them doing their weird stuff with copy blocks or copyright blocks and all that. So I just like the other two videos, or technically three videos. I will be showing off my collection of movies that I own, and then we'll kind of be digging into some other stuff. So I am a Michael Cimino fan, and recently I have rediscovered his movies. I watched them probably like the last half of his films when they came out. Like a lot of them came out in the theater, and then the first half of his films I probably watched more on television, something like Showtime, HBO, Cinemax way back in the day. And then, from time to time rented out the crappy, like VHS version of his films. And for me, like Roger Corman has always been a part of my life ever since I was a little kid, even before I knew who Roger Corman was. And the same thing, well, actually, the same thing with like somebody like Charles Band, who is still with us. And he, even before I knew who Charles Band was, before I knew who Roger Corman was, I was watching all their movies. Tony Scott, I watched his movies as they came out in the theaters. And I it's hard to put some of this because I'm a huge Tony Scott fan, but was I always a huge Tony Scott fan? The answer would probably be no. I would say I was just a fan of Tony Scott, that I went to go see his movies. I knew who he was. I enjoyed them. He always had great actors and good stories. But when I really started getting into people like, let's say, like Tom Cruise or Michael Bay, and really kind of researching things like their lives and their filmmaking styles, and Tom Cruise with how does he produce and what films he picks, and him doing his own stunts, and then Michael Bay, which to me is the most interesting, of learning, looking on YouTube and finding these videos that really got into not really his life, because he seems to be more of a private guy, but just his filmmaking style and the Transformers movies and anything before that, and then the films after that. Him getting like in the science fiction with The Island and Transformers, or the Bad Boys movies, and then Ambulance, and now he seems to be doing documentaries. So when I started looking into all these people, and then, like I said, especially with like Tony Scott with Chaos Cinema, and then Michael Bay with like the Bayverse, it's I started looking into other directors that I've seen their movies and I enjoyed them, but I hadn't seen them in a while. So I went back and I started looking at Michael Cimino, and I remember some things about him. Of course, there's Heaven's Gate, which was I still think it's considered to be the biggest bomb in film history. Basically bankrupted a studio, and which would be Heaven's Gate. And even some of the interesting kind of conspiracy theories about him right before his death, which I found to be also kind of interesting, and we'll look into that a little bit later. So I looked at my own film collection, and I had some of his movies, and then I ordered some eBay. I went to Zia, ordered some there, and I realized how unappreciated he is. That he didn't make a lot of movies, and he only made like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, technically 8. If you could, there is a like it's part of. He did like a short that was part of like another film, and but I really don't think his legacy, the movies that he left behind, are as appreciated as they should be, because his stuff is good. But when I bought these movies, which are all DVDs except for the very last one, I was looking to see, okay, can I find Blu-rays of these? And I couldn't. But then just before making this video, I did look on Amazon and I found some stuff. But he's still not appreciated the way that he should be. You could have a whole cinema class just on Michael Cimino. And depending on how long the class is, you may have to split it up into 2. You could watch Heaven's Gate and have a debate on, is it horrible or not? So let's take a look at what I have here. And all of these, I really think people should take another look at. Some companies they've put his films out there. Some are niche companies, these little kind of niche companies that, especially the first one here, that picked up some of his stuff, which I was surprised about. So like his first one here, this is a Clint Eastwood movie. And this is Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. So this is Michael Cimino's first directed movie. And it's a Clint Eastwood movie. It's actually a Malpaso company, which is Clint Eastwood's company, film. And this is written and directed by Michael Cimino. It also has Jeff Bridges and George Kennedy in it. So this is an interesting one. It's rated R. It's from 1974. It's 115 minutes. And this is widescreen. This is Kino Lorber. And this is it's a good movie. If you like Clint Eastwood, as I'm sure this is probably going to be in your collection if you're, a Clint Eastwood collector. So it's got so see, this is one of those little kind of like, niche companies that I'm surprised that this wasn't released. Yeah, it says, 20th Century Fox and MGM. So I'm surprised one of them didn't release it. I'd probably say MGM. But so that's interesting that this company got it. And I'm not seeing any special features on here, except for it being widescreen. There could be something on here that I'm not remembering. But so this is Michael Cimino's first film. Now, what does Michael Cimino do after making a hit movie with Clint Eastwood? What does he do after that? Well, he makes an Academy Award-winning movie, is what he makes. And that's a film that got 5 Academy Awards, actually. And this is a great movie. It is one of the best films to represent the Vietnam War. This is an excellent movie. It's long. It's like 3 hours. So, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot's almost 2 hours. This is close to 3 hours, if not 3 hours. So it's The Deer Hunter. And I would put this right up there with like Apocalypse Now. This is a great movie. So I got it in this. It's kind of like in a book form. And at first I thought maybe it was a Blu-ray, but it's a DVD. So this is the Universal Legacy Series It's got, Robert De Niro, the Deer Hunter. It also has, which is interesting because some of the people in this were also in stuff like, The Godfather, Godfather 2, things like that, with Coppola. So you have John Cazale, John Savage, Meryl Streep, Christopher Walken, and this has, here, 5 Academy Awards, 1978, including Best Picture. So this is, God, it's just such an amazing movie. And director of photography is Vilmos Zsigmond, who's an excellent cinematographer. Let's see if anybody. Yeah, CIMINO did a lot on this. It's rated R. This is widescreen. Yeah, 3 hours and 4 minutes. So it's interesting just going from, something like this to this, and then winning the Academy Award. I mean, that's amazing. So it's a 2-disc special edition, digitally remastered with completely restored audio. Special features. So disc 1, because it is a 2-disc, audio commentary by the cinematographer and a film journalist, digitally remastered with completely restored audio. Disc 2, deleted and extended scenes, theatrical trailer, and production notes. So winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and one of AFI's top 100 films of all time. So what's great about this is you get to see the people before they go off to Vietnam, where in something like, let's say, Apocalypse Now, they're already there. So you kind of get a little bit of back history through, dialogue, some exposition. There is a whole section of them because they're they're blue collar coal mine workers. They're just like regular people. Let's see. Deer Hunter follows a group of Pennsylvania steel workers from their blue collar lives hunting in the woods. Let's see the Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War. Yeah, so it's this Pennsylvania steel workers, like I said, blue collar people. There's a giant wedding that takes place, and it's just amazing. There's a great scene of De Niro walking around with a flamethrower, and he's just catching like the Vietnamese on fire, which I, when watching Watchmen, the movie Watchmen, there's a scene of the comedian going around with the flamethrower, and and of course this has the, the great scene, with them doing the gun at the head. I don't want to say too much because I don't want, YouTube doing its thing, but it's one of the most, famous scenes in the film. And so here's the inside. And so DVD, this is disc 1 feature film, disc 2 bonus material, not rated. This is R. There's De Niro. And there you got the cast. And of course, this, he was the, Michael Cimino. He's director, but let's see. So story by him. Okay, screenplay is by like Deborah Washburn. Story is by Michael Cimino. and a few other people. But he always has a lot to do with this stuff. And so, you know, you're big, you're the toast of the town. And I just want to quickly so I'm just trying to find something here. Okay. I couldn't think of it. Russian roulette scene. That's what I was trying to think of. So the famous Russian roulette scene. For some reason, I thought it was called something different, and I thought maybe YouTube might flag this or something for me not saying the right thing. But yeah, the famous Russian roulette scene. So you have in this at the very beginning the wedding scene, which is very long. I think it's like 30 minutes, if not longer. And then you have, I think, you know, of course, all this stuff in Vietnam, but I love De Niro walking around with a flamethrower. And then you have the Russian roulette scene, which is quite a long scene. I think it's like 20 minutes or longer. And it's just amazing. It's just an amazing movie. It's, if you haven't seen it, you really, really should. So when your film wins Best Picture, when it wins 5 Academy Awards, and Hollywood is at your doorstep, they are kissing your feet, and they want you to make a movie. And they say, you can make any film you want. Money, here's money. Take money. Here's money. What do you want to make? What do you want to make? And he says, Michael Cimino says, I want to make Heaven's Gate. This might be one of the most notorious films ever made. It's in hindsight, I mean, it is a good film, but it's very long. This version on here is 3 hours and 39 minutes, which is the original cut that played in the theaters. There's like 3 different versions of this film, if not more, of different lengths. And I believe that this is the theatrical cut of the film. So I'm glad about that. And of course, there's Christopher Walken, and it's also got, I mean, it's got a good cast in it. It's also got John Hurt, Sam Waterston, Brad Dourif, Joseph Cotton, Jeff Bridges. Why isn't he listed on here? Isabella. I can't. I think it's like Huppertake. It's hard to see. It's like, but Chris Christopherson. Why isn't he listed in the credits back here? Oh, he's the main guy, Chris Christopherson. Yeah, that's why he's way over here. Chris Christopherson in Michael Cimino's Heaven's Gate, co-starring all the rest of these people, and also Vilmos Sigmund is the DP again. So what Michael Cimino wanted to do is he wanted to make the most authentic Western ever made. And everything in this film had to be authentic. It had to be of that time period. So even if they were creating it, it had to be of that time period. It was that simple. If it was even a year off of what he wanted, you couldn't use it. He would shoot, I mean, this guy was Stanley Kubrick it all over the place. And just a simple scene of I believe it's with Chris Christopherson in a bed with a whip. He took that like 50 times, and it lasts for maybe a second on screen. There's a few documentaries on YouTube about this, and I found a pretty good one. And they showed some of the takes, and then they showed you the actual footage, and it's literally in the film for like 2 seconds, if that. So this is a very interesting film. The studio just kept giving him money and money and money and money, and then soon they stopped giving him the money. They would send people out to keep an eye on him and to find out where all this money was going to. The actors that have been interviewed for some of these documentaries I've watched said that it was a hard shoot, but they really didn't have like bad things to say. They didn't have poor things really to say about Michael Cimino, except that he was a perfectionist, and that the shoot was only supposed to go on for a month or so, and it ended up going on for months and months and months. And then Cimino had thousands of hours of footage that I think they said in the documentary that his first cut was like 6 hours, and then the studio said cut it down. We have a release date, and he cut it down to like 5 hours, and that really pissed off the studio. So he finally got it down to, this 3 hours and 39 minutes, which is what they released. And the movie bombed, massively bombed. People walked out pissed off. So then later they re-released it in a much shorter version, and people still didn't like it. This is widescreen, which I'm very happy about. Rated R, 1980. It's color. It says collectible special features, collectible booklet, original theatrical trailer. God, I wish that this had audio commentary. So let's look inside. Okay, so here's the book. Heaven's Gate is definitely one of those movies where, like I said, now that it's years and years and years later, you can, appreciate it now. But back then, no, it's tough. And with its length, it's still tough. It's a good film, but it's long, but it's tough. So he was basically ostracized from Hollywood for a while. And it took, like I said, a while, for him to come back with anything. So this is 1980. So the next film that he did, which I really enjoy, but I have found it on some people's like worst film list, or if they're ranking Michael Cimino's films, this is sometimes number one, which I don't get. But that would be Year of the Dragon with Mickey Rourke. And this is pretty much when Mickey Rourke was still like the guy. He was still, women loved him, guys wanted to be him type of thing. And I saw this movie in the theater. So I saw most likely Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. I know I saw on TV, probably just regular television with commercials. Deer Hunter I did see on like paid television, Showtime, HBO, that type of thing. And Heaven's Gate I didn't watch until years and years and years later when it came out on VHS, and I'm pretty sure I turned it off because it's a widescreen movie. The VHS would be pan and scan. It's long. I mean, I wouldn't even sit through Lawrence of Arabia because it was so long. It's just like, no way. And then I watched Heaven's Gate much later and have an appreciation for it. I like the film. So now I have an appreciation for it. So Year of the Dragon would be the first Michael Cimino movie that I saw in the theater. And so let's see, what year was this? So 85. So Heaven's Gate, 1980. This is 1985. So it took him 5 years to get another movie off the ground. Heaven's Gate is MGM, and this is Warner Brothers. It is widescreen. I made sure to to get stuff widescreen. Directed by Michael Cimino, it is based on a novel. Screenplay by Oliver Stone and Michael Cimino. There we go. Produced by Dino De Laurentiis. Yeah, John Lone is in this. So he's a good actor. And special features are audio commentary by Michael Cimino, soundtrack remastered in Dolby Digital 5.1, and theatrical trailer. I'm glad about the audio commentary. Ah! Almost dropped Year of the Dragon. Yeah, I'm seeing Mickey Rourke portrays White, a war veteran who has a Vietnam-sized chip on his shoulder when dealing with an emerging blood feud in Chinatown. So he kind of goes back to the whole, kind of Vietnam feel, with like one of his characters. So, but I enjoyed it. I don't know why people dislike this movie. I like Mickey Rourke. I've always liked Mickey Rourke. So after that, so this is 1985. So the next one that he did, and this DVD pisses me off. So this is another one that I saw in the theater, and that's The Sicilian. So this is Christopher Lambert, Terrence Stamp, John Turturro. Before The Godfather, there was ... The Sicilian. So they tried to play this off as a prequel to The Godfather. And I believe, yeah, it's based on the book by Mario Puzo. And this is another one of those, yeah, drives me nuts, that once again, they get Christopher Lambert, who I love. Highlander is one of my favorites. But he plays an Italian, and he's not Italian. Just like in Highlander, he's not. It's they seem to keep hiring him for films where he's not that, which I find to be funny. And but oh well. This is from Artisan Home Entertainment. It says from the New York Times, a masterpiece, a work of genius. Now, here's what makes me mad. And I checked. This is a standard TV picture. So, formatted from its original version to fit your TV screen. Standard TV, 10 by 9 television. Oh, this is unrated, though. I'll give it that. This is unrated. Does it tell me how long it is? Oh, and when did this come out? So this is 87. So 85, then 87. And special features. These are not special features. It's got some crud. Full screen version. Full screen. I avoided picking this up for a while because of that. Thinking, I know I'm going to be able to find a widescreen version of this. Nope. Full screen. Just like for years, and this is another Warner Brothers movie, Frantic, Roman Polanski, Harrison Ford, early 80s. one of my all-time favorite films, my favorite Harrison Ford movie, my favorite Polanski film. Only full frame. Doesn't matter. Only full frame. I would not buy it. Until I looked on eBay and saw overseas, China or somewhere, had the Blu-ray, because everything else I have found was DVD, widescreen. And it was only like $20 or something with shipping and handling. Boom, bought it instantly. Now I have it in my collection. So, F you, Warner Brothers. I'll buy it someplace else if I can't find it widescreen with you. I'll get it overseas. And the same thing with this. So this is frustrating of why they just can't. This has kind of a cool cover on it. Yeah, even says full screen The Sicilian. Thank you. Keep just rubbing that in my face, why don't you? It's got its card here. Let's see. So chapters. What do they have on here? Way of the Gun, I own that. Suicide Kings, I don't own that. King of New York, I want to own. Backtrack, Bad Lieutenant, I want to own. The Limey, I love The Limey. Terrence Stamp. So I want to own that one too. All artisan. So probably all out of print. So, okay. So we got here 1987. So what he made after 1987 was another Mickey Rourke film. And this is a remake of a movie called The Desperate Hours, and which starred Humphrey Bogart, which is an excellent movie. I saw it at the same time as I saw the original version of Narrow Margin. I think they were double featured at a theater in LA that a friend of mine and myself went to. Because I believe like Desperate Hours, the remake of Desperate Hours and then the remake of Narrow Margin came out around the same time. So we saw those in the theater. And then they, like an art house, did a double feature of the originals, which were excellent. And so Michael Cimino did Desperate Hours, dropping the. And it is not as good as the original, but I do like it. So this has Mickey Rourke. So he's back working with Mickey Rourke. Right? Am I crazy? Yeah, Year of the Dragon. For some reason, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, am I wrong? No, I'm just getting old. Mickey Rourke, Anthony Hopkins, Mimi Rogers, and Kelly Lynch. So this is MGM, which would be Heaven's Gate. And it says down here from Los Angeles Times, suburban nightmare of strange, elegant fury. So it's pretty much like a home invasion movie. I think before they started making home invasion movies, or at least they were, they weren't known yet as home invasion movies. This is widescreen. It's rated R. Runs an hour and 45 minutes. Made in 1990. So 87. So 3 years in between movies. The only thing we get with this is theatrical trailer. That's a drag, but at least it's widescreen. Anybody else on here? Oh, Elias Cotes is in this. Kelly Lynch, Mimi Rogers. Dilo De Laurentiis, so he's back working with him. Directed by Michael Cimino. So, and there's Anthony Hopkins right there. I like the title The Desperate Hours more than Desperate Hours. So I wish they would have kept the. But I get it. It's a remake. They want to have them different. So, okay. So after this, after Desperate Hours, he made one more film. This is available on DVD, but it's expensive. And I'm not willing to pay the amount of money that people want for it. So I was at Zia Records one day and I looked through their VHS, area to find Tom Cruise or Michael Bay or, you know, Tony Scott or any of these type of people that I'm looking for. And I came along this movie and it was on VHS and it was only like $2 or $3. So I said, I'm just going to pick up the VHS. I'll just pick it up as that. So that would be Sun Chaser. It is also Warner Brothers. Woody Harrelson, a film by Michael Cimino. It begins as a kidnapping. It became a journey of hope. That right there kind of turns me off. I like it begins as a kidnapping. Now I'm intrigued. It became a journey of hope. I've now lost interest. I'm not a big fan of this cover. And of course, because this is VHS, it's full frame. It's not widescreen, which sucks. It's rated R, and it's 1996. So 6 years after Desperate Hours. And let's see here. It also John Cena and Bancroft. Oh, music is by Maurice Jarre. I believe that's how you say his name. Written by Charles Leavitt and then directed by Michael Cimino. I was always thinking maybe this was based on a book. But, so it says here, Cimino's best film since The Deer Hunter. Harrelson does some of his best work. Now, this is from the Associated Press. I'm going to be honest. I watched the trailer for this. I have no interest in watching this movie. It's the only one out of all of his films I have not seen, and I have no interest in watching it. I just don't. I did not like the trailer. I don't like the box cover. I just do not have an interest in it. To me, it does not feel like a Michael Cimino movie from that description. And I don't know, maybe just later on in Cimino's life, he started having different thoughts, but it just did not appeal to me. It just didn't. One day I will sit down and watch it, but it just didn't. That trailer turned me off of the movie. But one day I will check it out. So we'll see. So that's the collection that I have. And I do want to quickly look at some things on here. So this is Wikipedia. So on all the films, so in 2007, after Sun Chaser, which was 1996, he did no translation needed. Segment from To Each His Own Cinema. So there is that he directed. I've never seen it. I don't even know if I can find a copy of it. But it looks like it's French. 2007 French comedy drama anthology film commissioned for the 60th anniversary of the Cannes Film Festival. The film is a collection of 34 short films, each 3 minutes in length, by 36 acclaimed directors, representing 5 continents and 25 countries. I don't know. If I found that, I'd probably pick it up. And it's showing here as director, yes on all of them. He's writer on all of them except Well, it's showing The Sicilian, Desperate Hours, and Sun Chaser, but it does say uncredited on all three. And then as far as producer goes, he was not the producer on Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. He was on Deer Hunter. He was not on Heaven's Gate. He was not on Year of the Dragon, but he was a producer on The Sicilian, Desperate Hours, The Sun Chaser, but not To Each His Own Cinema. On the ones that say uncredited, The Sicilian, Desperate Hours, Sun Chaser, here it's The Sun Chaser. This is just Sun Chaser. Yeah, just Sun Chaser on here. It does say script revisions. He also has commercials from like Pepsi, United Airlines, Eastman Kodak, Canada Dry, Maxwell House, coffee. That's always good. And then as a writer, it says here 1972 Silent Running, 1973 Magnum Force. Oh, written with John Milius. He's one of my favorites. 1976 The Outlaw Josie Wales, uncredited. And then the script revisions were with Philip Kaufman. 1979 The Rose, originally written as Pearl in 1974. He was uncredited. And then 1980, The Dogs of War. Oh, I have Dogs of War. I should have pulled that. Initially slated to direct, uncredited draft, later rewritten by Gary DeVore and George Malco. And then he has original screenplays that are unpublished. We're not going to go through those because there's a lot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 of those. Are there, who's interesting? Proud Dreamer with James Toback. Reel to Reel with Steven Spielberg. Purple Lake with Raymond Carver. Full Circle, story by John Woo. So he's had some pretty good people in there. And then he's won a lot of awards, and he's won like the Los Angeles Film Critics Association Award, Golden Globes Award, Directors Guild of America Award, Academy Award, Cannes Film Festival, including a Golden Raspberry Award. That would be for... So here he wins 1981 Cannes Film Festival, the Palme d'Or. He wins for Heaven's Gate. Then in 1982, 1 year later, the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Director, Heaven's Gate. Wow. He didn't win the Cannes Film Festival. He was nominated, but won the Golden Raspberry Award. Okay. Caesar Award. Oh, now we're back at Golden Raspberry Awards. This is for Year of the Dragon, Worst Director and Screenplay, nominated. Cannes Film Festival, Venice Film Festival, and Locarno International Film Festival. So he's had a life, but I don't think his films are appreciated. I don't really think that... so here's the thing. So he died with some rumors. And one of the rumors is that, and I remember seeing this before, of course, there was the internet, there was all this. This is, when he died in 2016. No, so there would be, I think when I saw the picture, maybe no. I guess, there was internet and everything. Yeah. So I think I just saw a picture of him. Like there wasn't a lot of pictures of him at the time. And the picture of him was, he was in he had like sunglasses on and a hoodie. And it didn't look anything like him at all. Looked nothing like him. And the rumors were that he had a sex change, which he says is not true. I kind of felt if it was true, especially at that time, it probably destroyed his career. But it is saying that that he was just really, really sick. And mild respiratory, sorry, you know what I mean. My mouth is very dry. Compliant. Yeah, weeks before his death, Michael consulted a physician about mild respiratory, there we go, compliant, but otherwise suffered no signs of ill will. So he died on July 2nd, 2016 at 77. No cause has been disclosed officially to the public. Since his death, many directors, actors, and public figures have paid tribute to him. It says there was no funeral or public memorial. But he says that he was basically just, where can I find that? It's in here. I just, let's see here. I think it's within a paragraph, so I'm having a hard time finding it. But there is this. So there was this rumor out, which is really weird, that he had this sex change. And because he looked totally different. And I did see a picture of him, and he did look very different. But doing some reading and stuff, it sounds more like he was just, he says that he basically became like a vegan. He got down to like a weight that he had in high school, so he was incredibly thin. Of course, he was sick, and so that's what it was. But there is still that rumor out there that this happened. That he. God, I just wish I could find it. It's just not here. It is here, but I can't locate it. I'm going to do a Michael Cimino. Let's see if anything pops up. Yeah, this is from Vanity Fair. Mickey Rourke has heard the rumor repeatedly. The sex change rumors, the way he looks, have nothing to do with Michael not being hired, he says offhandedly. So that's Mickey Rourke. Yeah, and if there are these plastic surgery before and after photos where he really does look like a completely different person. So it's Michael Cimino plastic surgery, you be the judge. So I just always found that interesting that did this let's just say because if you look at pictures of him from the 70s, he looks very different than from what he did like before he died. So he might have had a sex change operation, or maybe he just got very thin. He got sickly. He was only eating kind of like sticks, nuts, and berries type of thing, and he just really looked ill. So I don't know. It's hard to say. It doesn't diminish the movies that he made. So um, that's yeah. It's kind of a weird thing, and I'm sorry for spending some time on it, but I just find it interesting. So before we leave, oh no, I wanted to do this. I'm sorry. So things are taking a little longer than I thought. I had said originally, I got all these on DVD because I didn't think a lot of this stuff was available on like a Blu-ray. And of course, we got the one movie that's kind of from like the niche company. But I'm seeing here, and this is Amazon, that you can get Thunderbolt and Lightfoot on Blu-ray. It's $14.41. Probably get it cheaper. You could probably get all these used. Year of the Dragon is available, and that's from the Warner Brothers Archive Collection. So I have a few of those. That's $17.97. There's also some books on him: Cimino, The Deer Hunter, Heaven's Gate, and The Price of a Vision. It's only $8.98. Then Desperate Hours is on one of these niche companies, MVD, Rewind Collection, $15.24. Deer Hunter is available on Blu-ray, also 4K, Ultra HD. That's $20.49. And you can get Heaven's Gate on the Criterion Collection, and that's $34.63. And then it's showing here the Thunderbolt and Lightfoot DVD that I have. That's $11.99. You can also just get a regular Blu-ray of Deer Hunter for $8.92. And then that kind of ends. Yeah, because then here's Sicilian DVD, the same one that I have, which that just sucks. That's the only way that you can get it. I think that's about it on here. There is something called Michael Cimino, God Bless America. I'm going to have to check that out. And there's a novel called Final Cut, Art, Money, and the Ego in the Making of Heaven's Gate, the film that sank United Artists. And then for some reason, Annabelle is here. So I don't know. So yeah, his stuff is available. Not all of it, but it is available. So some people appreciate him, which is great. So I want to go grab quickly the Dogs of War DVD. So I'm going to pause this for 1 second, and I'll be right back. And then I'll let you go. Hey, okay, so I'm back. So this is the Dogs of War. So maybe I'll have to keep this now with my my Michael Cimino movies. So it's Christopher Walken, Tom Berenger, The Dogs of War, Shakespeare. And this is MGM. Widescreen. It's an hour and 59 minutes, 1981. So that would have fallen in between Heaven's Gate and Year of the Dragon. And it's directed by John Irvin. Anybody else? Norman Jewison was one of the producers on it. Yeah, so he's uncredited. So this is based on a novel. So he's not listed on the back here as one of the writers. But now I think I'll have to get some of these other films that he worked on that he's uncredited on. So this, stuff like Silent Running is a great movie. Magnum Force, of course, is Dirty Harry. Outlaw Josie Wales is Clint Eastwood Western. The Rose, that's the one with Bette Midler. and then the Dogs of War. So only a few that I'm missing if I wanted to go that route. So, and I'll put just this one right down here. All right, so there we go. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. It's funny is the Tony Scott video had more videos and was shorter than this, and this one had less videos and is longer. So if you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Thank you, and please go check out Michael Cimino's movies. They're really worth it. It, like I said, it does look like some companies out there, if they're these kind of niche companies or bigger companies, it looks like they are finally starting to release his stuff. Maybe it's a copyright problem, who knows. Maybe a family member owns the rights to his movies and they just haven't come out yet. They just want too much money to release them, so who knows. But eventually, hopefully some of these, like The Sicilian, come out widescreen. I keep searching, but every copy I find just says full frame. And I figured I got to own it. It's the only way of getting it. So, and then of course, Sun Chaser eventually I'll watch. But if I could find a reasonably priced DVD that's widescreen, I'll pick it up, and that will probably give me more reason to watch it. So, all right, everybody, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.